Hi guys, today we're going to be learning about combining like terms. You should have seen this last year, so it might look familiar. If not, teach it like it's brand new. So, combining like terms. Like terms have the same variable part. So that means they both have x's, both have y's, the same exact letter. Like terms can be combined by adding or subtracting the coefficients of the variable. Then remember to include the plus or minus in front of each term. So what we were talking about last class was that these minus signs are actually making these negative 2's or negative 4x and negative 5x. That's what we were talking about when we were writing out our terms. So that's going to apply today when we combine like terms. So when you combine like terms, you need to look for things that have the same variable part. So in my first example, I have a 5x and a 3x. They both have x's. So you are going to add the coefficients. Remember, the coefficients are the numbers in front of the x. So you're going to add 5 plus 3. So 5x plus 3x will combine. 5 plus 3 is 8, and then you leave an x there because it has the same variable part. The next piece will be my constants, and constants are the ones without x's or variables at all. So 4, and then now remember this is a negative 2. So I'm going to add those together. 4 plus negative 2. And these are opposite signs, so it would be technically like subtracting. 4 is the bigger number, so it would be a positive 2. Since it's a positive 2, I'm going to write plus 2 to represent that it's a positive 2. Then this is my final answer. All right, my next one. Again, I'm going to start with x's and combine them all into one. So I have a 2x and a 3x, a positive 2x and a positive 3x. So I'm going to add those together. 2x plus 3x gives me 5x. Another thing you can do is kind of cross off the terms as you go, so that way you know you're done with them. Then I'm going to take my y's. I have a 4y. And remember, when there's no coefficient there, that is a 1. We talked about that last class. So there's an imaginary 1 in front of this. And there's an imaginary 1 in front of this one as well. So I have 4y plus a negative 1y, because there's a negative right there, plus 1y. And you can use a calculator, so feel free to do that. So you could just type in your calculator 4 plus negative 1 plus 1. Okay, and when you do that, you end up with a positive 4. So that would be a positive 4y. And again, I wrote plus because this represents a positive number, and that would be my answer. All right, next one. Again, start with my x's. I have a negative 4x because I have a minus 4x, and a negative 5x because I have a minus. So negative 4x plus negative 5x. Type in your calculator negative 4 plus negative 5, and you end up with negative 9. And then you add your x to represent the same variable part. Then I'm going to move on to my constants. I would look for a y, but I don't have any here. I have a positive 8 and a positive 3. So I'm going to do 8 plus 3. That gives me a positive 11. So I'm going to write plus 11. And that would be my answer. All right, then this one I have x, y's, and constants. So I'm going to do a little extra combining. I'm going to start with my x's. I'm going to take 2x plus negative 7x because I have that minus sign in front. So 2x plus negative 7x. 2x plus negative 7x is negative 5x. Just type in your calculator 2 plus negative 7 and end up with negative 5, and then add your x. All right, x's are gone. I move on to y's. It looks like I only have one y, so there's nothing to combine that with. So I'm just going to leave that as a positive 3y. Okay, lastly, I move on to constants. I have a -9. So you could write this as a plus a -9, or you could just do a subtract 9. They mean the same thing. Either one is an acceptable answer. And that would be your answer. And that is how you combine like terms.